We have noted this anomaly with concern, and we are convinced it was purely gross administrative failure on the part of the government of the day. Because really, there's no other explanation we'll give on this.
But as a new governor, what is the current state?
Chair, when I came on board, we had a very high wage bill, very high head count. Hence, we did a review of the staff, and with a view of reducing, or rather mitigating the circumstances that we found. Obviously, that led to us stopping the salaries of many of the staff who we found were employed irregularly. And of course, that was not appreciated by both the board and the staff concerned. And that matter now is in court. So as we speak as of today, I think our current wage bill, let me allow, Chair, if you allow me, the County Secretary to respond on the current situation.
Yes, please proceed.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. As the Governor stated, we had this financial year, we had a lot of issues with HR, because when we came in, we found that the county employees, or total subsidy was 6,717 for Garissa County. So we conducted an audit, and we found through the State Department of Public Service, we did an audit of HR, and they recommended that 3,717 were irregularly recruited and therefore should be suspended from work.
Just a minute. Okay. In the year under review, you had 3,552 employees in IPPD. And when you took office, you had 6,717. 717. Yeah. So the number grew by 3,000 in a span of 3 years.
Yes.
Okay, proceed.
So we conducted an audit, and audit was concluded in September 2022. We found that in the audit report, we found 2,600 employees were on permanent and pensionable, 811 on permanent but not pensionable, and 2,067 casuals, and 181 on local contracts. So there's a lot of anomalies we found from the audit report, and this year we just asked the staff to rely on the basic NHIF cover. We did not do medical cover because the matter was in court, and we'll have just gone the same route of discriminatory because the other employees who were removed from the payroll will have said in the court that.
Okay, I think that's a good explanation. Senator Cherarkei.
Thank you, Chair. Governor, you have said in your response this was a gross administrative failure on the part of the government of the day. How do you know it is administrative failure? Number one. Number two, who was supposed to do it? Are they still in office? Number three, the CS, were you CS then or you are new? County Secretary?
I've just come in with the new government.
So the point is, if 554 were not covered, Governor, are all your employees in IPPD as at now, or the others who are not there? And finally, Chair, who was the service provider of the insurance cover? Is it NHIF? Was it outsourced to somebody else? And when it expired, because it says by 20th December, it was never renewed. Is it still the same service provider? And what were the TOR terms of reference? Thank you, Chair.
Proceed.
And Chair, to my understanding, the provider for the service was NHIF, and they discontinued the service because of non-remittance or payments from the county government, and they were incurring a lot of expenses from claims from the county employees, and there was a lot of abuse on the NHIF, and they discontinued because what the county was paying and what was being claimed were just not matching.
So, Chair, through you, Chair, this NHIF, do you still, are you using NHIF now, and is there a pending bill on remittances to the NHIF by how much?
Yes, there's a pending bill with NHIF from the previous administration, and we have negotiated with them on payment terms. But unless and until we clear that, they have said they are not going to allow our staff to be covered on a premium cover. They just give them the basic cover.
Like how much? What is the pending bill of claims to the NHI?
It's about 180 million.
180 million?
Yes.
Were the officers in office in the Department of County Secretary and through you, Chair, and the Human Resource Department, have you taken any administrative action as the CS?
Yes, we have taken administrative action. The County Secretary Chair, his term expired with the previous administration and he left. But the HR manager or director for the county, we suspended him from his position. He's no longer there.
Chair, through you can provide evidence to that effect?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I think that would be important, as we pointed out earlier, that this is an evidence-driven conversation, that whenever you make some assertions, you need to table evidence to that effect. What our interest is, irrespective of whatever is going on in court, if there is someone who works for Garissa County government, they must have access to medical insurance, because that's the only way you'll attract people to work for you. You'll motivate the people who are working for you. It does not matter whether the governor and the county's public service board are embroiled in a court battle. The other people should not suffer. And until it is established, I don't know whether whatever is in court regards the 3,717. The 3,717 that you cited as having been hired irregularly. Is that part of what is before court?
Yes, correct.
And what are the interim orders so far? That
Well,
the 3,700 remain in employment until the case is determined.
Where we are right now, and that's why I have my county attorney here, but I can explain that out of those 3,700, it's about 1,000, how many? 1,054 chair are the ones who went to court. The rest just went away and are proceeding with their life. Of course, they will want to see what will come out from here. But where we are right now is the labor court has now transferred the matter in their last week ruling to the Public Service Commission now to do a major audit to see really where and what has happened.
So as a consequence, the 1,054 are still employees of the county.
Well, they're suspended. They are on suspension now. They've not paid them in the last 6 or 7 months.
There are no orders for them to be restored to their positions?
Well, that's exactly why we are in court. We basically have been fighting those orders. Better word, yeah.
Maybe we get the details from the attorney?
Chair.
Because we want to understand the 1,000, are they employees of the county? If they're employees of the county, then they're entitled to what we are discussing.
Thank you, Chair. Just to shed light on this issue, the 1,054 employees were a result of a report that was done by the Public Service Board back in January, and even before I was sworn into office. There was a consent that was entered between the County Public Service Board and the county government of Garissa. And this was ideally done because the governor, the honorable judge said this is a bedroom issue and we should sort it out. In all his orders, he had given a provision for compromise between the County Public Service Board and the county government of Garissa. So after the consent, there was a report that was done by the County Public Service Board. The County Public Service Board did a verification exercise, but that is now what we had challenged, because the report that was tabled before the court, according to us, as the county government of Garissa, was a sham. And I would be happy to report that the court agreed.
Point of order, Chair.
Senator Achirake?
On technicality, you don't call something that is before court a sham.
No, the court agreed.
Order.
No, you don't say that in court.
No,
Okay,
it was-
Senator Cherargei, point made. Proceed.
So basically what the court ordered was, the court said that the report was to be expunged from the court records for want of integrity, and it ordered on the 22nd of June 2023 that the matter be taken to the Public Service Commission for so that they can carry out an audit and maybe do a report on the same. And we are supposed to now go back to court after the audit exercise by the Public Service Commission is done.
The question I've asked requires
Yes.
a very simple answer. The 1,054, are they still drawing a salary from the
No,
county?
no, they are not.
Because we are talking of exclusion of 554 employees. Let us not commit the same sin that you have said was committed by excluding 1,054. That is in case they are still employees of the county. Governor, are the 1,054 still employees of the county?
No, well, they are on suspension.
They are on suspension.
There's suspension until the matter is determined.
But when you're on suspension, you're entitled to certain benefits.
Actually,
Well, if and when, Chair,
There.
they are reinstated, because as far as we're concerned, they were illegally and irregularly employed.
What are the entitlements of employees during suspension?
It's half salary.
Well, that will be determined by the court, isn't it?
No, it's
the
in the
court,
labor
what,
laws.
the court.
That is the labor law issue.
That's a labor law issue.
Agreed. But I mean,
When employees
Chair.
are suspended.
yes.
And I think we dealt with this matter in details when we were doing the impeachment of the deputy governor of CI. And the labor law was cited very clearly.
Right.
When employees are on suspension, there are certain benefits that are still due to them.
Because they've not been fired. They have an outstanding matter. Chair, could I ask something related?
Okay, Senator Nyonka, then Cherargei.
Your Excellency, Governor, I wanted to ask you a related question to the matter you've raised. You know there are carryovers of members of the county assembly, members of the employees of the county government who were released from municipalities and the county councils. I hope you didn't fire those ones, because you inherited them, or whoever that was there before was supposed to inherit them, accommodate them during transition. Have you faced any issue with these employees? Because it's a constant issue that is coming up from different county governments pertaining to the employees who were carryovers from county councils, municipalities, and all the other statutory management organizations within the local government structure before the new constitution came up.
Senator, I'll ask.
Okay. Yeah, please respond, and then we get to Senator Cherargei.
Honorable Chair, I would like to say that we had no challenges with the former local government employees. They are all fully absorbed, and it's another question coming up on the audit about the same, but we have not affected them at all.
Senator Cherargei.
Mine is quickly, two things, Governor. You said an audit was done early in the year, January, and that was the basis of a court dispute that you have. Are you able to provide the audit, copy of audit to this committee, number one? Number two, and your county attorney is here, and she should always be grateful that I drafted the law that put her in office in the last session. Mine is just, the chair has asked a very critical question. The matter in court, are you in court with an employees who are contesting their, of course you don't need to get merit into the office. Are you in court with the employees who feel that their service were unfairly terminated? Or are you in court with County Public Service Board on their functionality and the role in terms of a regular hiring? Because my feeling is that there are two court cases, in my own opinion. One is that the employees have taken you to court because of what the chair is asking about, of course, earning half salary, and that is what the law says. And then you are also in court with County Public Service Board because of their functionality. So you need to differentiate between the committee because the citation, and Chair, I request that so that we become orderly and neat, so even if we don't go, is that at least provide the citation of the two cases. So, Governor, number 3, and finally, when you say you are appearing before Public Service Commission for engagement, is it with the County Public Service Board or is it with the employees? So that we can differentiate when we are writing our report. I think that is very important because unless the two matters were consolidated and therefore was referred to Public Service Commission, in my own understanding, those are my 3 questions, Chair.
Okay,
Thank you. Chair, I'll ask the County Secretary and also my lawyer to chip in, but the first part of your question, whether we can provide the report, the audit report that was done for us by the Department of Personnel Management. I think if you so request, Chair, we will be able to provide the same.
Okay, County Secretary.
Please continue, Mr.
Thank you, Honourable Chair. And the matter in court is the aggrieved employees who went to court, said they were illegally expunged from the payroll or dismissed from the county government. And the County Public Service Board of Garissa was cited as a respondent, the first respondent. But unfortunately, the respondent in this matter have sided with the petitioners. So it's basically the respondent, but they are supporting the petitioners in the matter. And when the judge ordered that they do a verification of these same employees, they basically use that as a cover-up for their misdeed in the last 5 years. And that's why the report was found to be not credible in the court.
Is there anything from legal?
Thank you, Chair. The citation of the case, just for Senator Cherargei's records, it's constitutional petition number E205 of 2022. The case is between the aggrieved employees and the county government of Garissa. It's not 2 cases, Senator, just to be very clear. It's one case whereby the County Public Service Board was also cited as a respondent. And what has happened is these employees have actually been removed from service, and that is what we are fighting in court right now. And the court has ordered that after verification of the said employees by the Public Service Commission, that is when the employees, now we're going to rely on the report by the Public Service Commission to reinstate and pay the dues to whoever Public Service Commission is going to decide is a lawful employee to the county. Thank you.
Let's get out of this in the following manner. Senator Cherargei, I'll allow you one final observation.
Just one final observation. So you are in court only on E002, that is where County Public Service Board, which the County Public Service Board, I think I heard Governor saying they are suspended.
Well, I think I've been corrected that actually it's not suspension,
Yes.
but for formal stoppage of their services.
Okay.
Yeah.
But now, finally, Chair, what is the fate of the suspended employees? Is that matter resolved or it's still in pending?
Well, that's the one. As I said,
Yes.
the word should have been terminated rather from our perspective, but they went to court.
Oh, so are you still paying them as the
No,
Chair?
we're not. We're not paying them.
So they are on suspension and they went to court orders. What?
Challenging their dismissal, basically.
Basically.
Yeah.
So my concern is what the court says about their fate.
But that's that, because they're challenging, they have been dismissed wrongfully, or on procedure rather,
Yes.
and we're saying, no, it was correct. That's now where we're in the PSC.
So there are no court orders maybe telling you that you continue paying them? There is no court order?
Well, we challenged, there were court orders, we challenged them, and they were lifted, and we're now with the PSC for final audit on this
So
one.
this
Yeah.
is 1,000 and something employees.
Yes, about 1,054 employees.
Chair, let me rest there so that we don't run risk of sub judice rule.
And I think that is a critical point, that there is an active matter in court at the moment. Is that a fact?
Yes.
So we must be careful not to get into the substance of the issues that are
Thank you,
before the courts of law.
Thank you.
However, as a Senate, we take note that your wage bill in the year under review was 52%, which is significantly higher than the 35% required under the PFM Act. And the Senate will expect that the governor shall take measures to reduce your compensation of employee expense to the 35% that is envisaged in the PFM. The details of what you should do is up to you as a CEO, is up to you as a county government, in liaison with the county assembly. That is why you took the job of CEO. What we want to see as a Senate is that wage bill commitment progressively reducing from the 52% to the 35% that is in law. What makes it worse is that in the year under review, your wage bill grew by 170 million. 170 million. And even the figures you have given us of headcount indicates that it's a problem that if it is not stopped, it will compound itself. So without getting into the details of the case, it is a position of the Senate that your compensation expenses must be worked on progressively to go down to 35% from the current 52%.
Well noted, Chair. Thank you very much. We're working towards that. I think as of today, we have brought it down to about 41% from where we inherited, and we hope to keep reducing it.
The second very important point is that whatever action you take must be in strict compliance with the law. If there are cases of aggrieved employees exercising their democratic right to go to court, that is provided for in the Constitution of Kenya. Right. And if the word was suspension and not termination, we would expect that they would still receive the entitlements under the labor laws. So two things, reduced to 35%, but with very strict compliance with relevant laws that guide that space.
Now that you have laid off more than 1,000 members of staff, does it affect your operation and service delivery to Garissa people?
Not really, Senator. Those actually, and many more, were just superfluous, and they were actually not adding any value.
The staff need analysis.
Yes, we've done the first part of it, and we are still, it's work in progress, basically.
Maybe you'd also allow me, now that you found, the County Secretary said that you found 6,716 and 17. If I would want to understand, when you left in 2017, how many were they?
I think I can say, but roughly about less than 3,000.
So they grew in leaps and bounds.
Yes.
Between 2020 and 2023 is when they grew with about 3,000.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Senator Mithu. Let's leave that, but